Hi, sexy. Come and watch till the end. High school party opens the film. MIT admits 17-year-old Rhoda Williams, celebrating with her beau. After observing Jupiter's quick succession in a NASA journey photo, she fell in love with space research. Rhoda feels unstoppable. She drives drunk late at night, listening to the radio report that a new planet with a moon like Earth has emerged in the solar system. The planet surprised scientists. The radio tells listeners to gaze north to see the planet, which is visible from Earth. Rhoda drives fast when inebriated. A 3-person family is in a roadside automobile. The parents giggle when the child calls his robot Bob. The mother is pregnant while they converse. Rhoda's vehicle strikes them, ending their chat. She is aware. She exits her automobile to find the couple asleep in the other car. She turns around and finds the child lying motionless on the ground. Police sirens sound as the screen turns dark, revealing the newly discovered planet. Rhoda is arrested and displayed in a cell. 4 years later, Earth 2 is now closer to Earth and looks like a copy, according to a news source. Earth's surface now shows it. From the telescope, its continents, seas, and cities seem like Earth's. Scientists received radio signals from the planet. It remains undeciphered. Some scientists think the planet is a cosmic mirror mirroring Earth. Rhoda leaves jail 4 years after the disaster. Her parents bring her up after her first outing. Her brother discusses an essay contest sponsored by rich entrepreneur Keith Harding, who is sponsoring the first space journey to Earth 2 when discussing the second planet. The most motivated citizen gets a free ticket. Rhoda returns home and checks her room. She no longer likes the place or herself. The second Earth in the sky fascinates her. Rhoda then checks up the United States Enterprises program her brother mentioned on her laptop. She must submit an essay explaining why she wants to travel to get the civilian ticket. She looks at the laptop without typing. She moves to the attic and proclaims it her new room. A night sky image decorates her bedding. Rhoda applies for jobs the next day. As an ex-convict, she cannot attend MIT or any other college. Rhoda wants a job without people, but the office woman gives her one. She janitors at her former high school. The following day, she becomes a janitor. 4 years after the accident, Rhoda investigates the tragic junction. Automobile stops close and a guy exits. Rhoda recognizes the man from the other automobile. She is astonished since she believes she murdered everyone. In commemoration of his kid, the dad drives away with a robot toy in the pool. Rhoda hurries home and checks the case on her laptop. He is John Burroughs. The vehicle tragedy killed his wife and kid, but he was in a coma. He woke up years later and has lived alone since. She believes he left Yale's music faculty after additional investigation. She takes his address and meets him tomorrow. She watches him drink in his dirty living room through the window, unsure what to do. Snowy night. Rhoda is upset by her guilt and John's condition. She gently undresses on snow. She lays nude and shivering. As she sleeps in the cold, her hypothermia blue fingers gazing at Earth 2. Black screen. She lays in a hospital bed next. She was rescued from the cold. Her fingers are hurt but not deadly. She prepares an essay to apply for a ticket to Earth 2 after returning home. She writes that madmen, misfits, and orphans were the subjects of prior experiments, not nobility. As a criminal, she feels she is the best candidate for this experiment. After completing her essay, she buys candy at a grocery store and runs into her high school sweetheart. He admits to business school and presents her to his girlfriend. When Rhoda says she is a janitor, he seems uneasy. She leaves without the candies, humiliated by her existence. Rhoda visits John again because she has to apologize. She knocks on the door but is too frightened. Instead of confessing to killing his family, she pretends to be a Maidenhaven maid on a free trial. John agrees to let her clean the home after months of neglect. Rhoda accepts the falsehood because she is too invested. John sees her inspecting a telescope while cleaning. After she finishes, John, unaware of her identity, invites her to clean again next week. Rhoda practices telling John the truth all week. However, uneasiness returns when she knocks on his door. She cleans his home again without speaking. She starts seeing him weekly. John seldom speaks to her. Rhoda and her family watch a live broadcast of a scientist attempting to contact with Earth 2 one night. She gets a signal and discovers that the scientist from the other world is chatting. She shares her name, date, location, employment, and childhood recollections. Worldwide amazement. Everyone now thinks Earth 2 is a mirror world with the same population. Rhoda leads her residents to see the planet and moon. News has sparked a major discussion about truth and lies. Physicists believe Earth 2 is a perfect replica of our world, including its population. Some think we may meet and converse to our identical twin who has had a different life. John and Rhoda like space science. Rhoda accepts his telescope. They play video games and seem to be dating. John takes Rhoda home. John and Rhoda become closer each day. They eventually discuss the first Earth 2 trip. Rhoda informs him about the article she wrote, but John is suspicious about the excursion. Since humans still think they are the center of the universe, he says they are not ready to acknowledge their uniqueness. When Rhoda washes his wife's sweater, John becomes furious. He furiously orders her out. A radio discussion warns of Earth 2's perils. Some think a battle between worlds is likely since Earth 2's inhabitants have comparable weaponry and are suspicious. John's automobile greets Rhoda at home. She accepts his apology for his past actions. He demands she accompany him. He performs a new style-based work for her at a university auditorium. The performance strengthens their bond. They return to John's. Sex follows. John informs her about his injury and years-long coma afterwards. Rhoda refuses to inform him. Rhoda's brother informs her the spaceflight phone when she gets home. She phones back and is astonished when billionaire Keith Harding answers. He informs her she won the essay contest and will go to Earth 2. Rhoda brags to John. After praising her, John encourages her not to go since they are getting along. He fears Rhoda's future. She realizes she cannot lie to him forever. She ultimately confesses to causing the disaster that night. John's dumbfounded. He sits down and begs her to go. News media surround her home as she returns. Since her fortunate ticket circulated, people are digging into her background and advertising the accident. Her father saves her and takes her inside. United Space Ventures gives her an Earth 2 ticket. Rhoda hears a scientist's idea on TV a few days later. He claims that before Earth 2 became apparent to us, its inhabitants lived a mirrored existence. 4 years ago, the incident altered people's actions and maybe their futures. Rhoda now doubts her mirror self on the other world caused the disaster. She runs to John's home with the airline ticket, but he would not let her in. Rhoda slips into his residence via the window determined. John chokes her after seeing her. He wrestles her free. She gets up and tells him the hypothesis she heard. She says his family may still be alive if the catastrophe never occurred. Rhoda gets him the ticket to locate his wife and kids on Earth 2. Rhoda resumed her usual life. She feels better after apologizing to John. Rhoda watches John in an interview before the shuttle launches. He accepts her offer and goes to Earth 2. Rhoda walks home from work 4 months after the first shuttle blasted off and is shocked to see herself from Earth 2. The movie finishes with two identical Rhodas staring at each other. The end. See you later, sexy.